Hello and welcome back to another Gunpla review. Today we're taking a look at the MS-05L Zaku 1 Sniper Type. Now, this is a bit of an older kit from 2006, but despite that it actually, well, you'll see. In fact, let's get right into it, starting with the articulation. Alright, starting off, we have the eye, which unfortunately is static. Doesn't seem like it would be too hard to modify it to be movable, but as it is, it's not supposed to move. The head is on the old style polycap, meaning it's on a hinge and also a ball joint. Obviously you can't do a full 360 because of the backpack, but it does still get pretty decent range. The shoulders are on pegs, though they can actually come out really far to the front. I was actually surprised just how far forward they can go, and neither of them are hindered by anything. I would have expected this one to be slightly less articulated because of the shoulder armor, but no, it gets out of the way. And now this one can get a full 90, and this one technically can get a full 90, but the shoulder does get in the way a little bit of that. Rotation. The upper arm, which is fairly standard. Then you get 90 degrees. Full bend. Yeah, despite being an old Zaku kit, this thing actually has a double jointed elbow, which, I mean, wow. And the hands, as always, are on ball joints. Now the waist is just on a peg, but due to how the polycap is put in, you do actually get a bit of an ab crunch. Not a lot, but it is there. The front skirts are actually separated on the runner, which is really nice. The side skirts are just attached by polycap. They can get out of the way. The hips are just on ball joints. There's not even any sort of rocking motion in there. It's just ball joints. However, despite that, 90 degrees, and if you bend the knee, more than 90 degrees, so it can actually kneel down, which is kind of important for a Zaku sniper. Speaking of which, almost a full bend with the knee. Not really sure how much more you could even get out of it, aside from just closing that gap a little bit. This is a really nice knee. And then with the ankle, you have a polycap hinge, and then a ball joint which is also hinged, and then there's another hinge in the actual foot. So the feet actually get a lot of range. I mean, this far to the front, that far to the back, and you get an insane ankle tilt. These feet, despite being just two pieces, have so much engineering in the actual jointing that you can get some really good poses out of this thing. Really, the only problem is there's no thigh swivel. This kit is really well articulated. It's surprisingly so for the time. Now moving on to accessories, and let's start with the big one. Obviously the trigger finger hand is attached. The actual sniper itself, two stickers for the cameras. Pretty good color separation. You do need to paint the actual barrels inside here, but yeah, I was impressed by this thing. Now, unfortunately, as far as I've been able to find, there's nowhere you can actually store the sniper, so it's pretty much in the hand or off the kit. Also, you'll notice that little hole on the side. That's because the power cable, which is a wire inside of a cloth wrap, which looks really nice. And as long as you actually push the wire up into the part, fairly secure too. Just can peg in there. You get it up underneath the arm when it's holding it. And that's the power cable to the actual rifle itself. Excuse me a moment. Sorry for that. You get the holding hands. And you do actually get 2 splayed hands. Only 1 cap for the back of them. You're supposed to use this newer style hand to brace the rifle, but honestly, I kind of prefer the look of this one, and also the coloring is different. So this one color matches with the hands, and this one doesn't, so it's up to you. And finally, you do actually get a submachine gun, which has a moving scope, which actually does get its own sticker, moving secondary handle. And it's a really interesting design because you don't really see side-fed drum mag Zaku machine guns. And unfortunately, there's nowhere you can actually store it. It really seems like there should be somewhere you could store this on it, but there isn't. And before I forget, of course, the knee can be deployed so that it can actually kneel down, and it is fully articulated, which is nice. As for a quick size comparison, pretty much average height for a Zaku. Entirely average height for a Zaku. Not really much to say. So to wrap this review up, this kit holds up insanely well. Aside from a couple of seam lines and the torso being a little bit static, you could tell me this came out in 2014 and I would believe you. The articulation was ahead of its time in a lot of respects, and honestly, aside from the hips just being the old style ball joints, this has better articulation than some kits that came out like in the past few years. I can wholeheartedly recommend picking one of these up if you had any interest in getting one. But anyway, that's all for this review. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for future reviews. Hit the bell. Apparently it's necessary. And feel free to watch my backlog. And as always, until next time, happy building.